Is your daughter still doing all right? It was your daughter that had the appendicitis, right? I hope she's doing good still. Um, so yesterday on the members live, which of course most of you aren't able to see because you're not members, we painted some pieces and made a couple of pair of earrings, and I painted a pendant piece from our Arctic Aurora a companion bundle. This is the piece I'm talking about, like this. So, hey Heather. And so there's that. We also made the earrings that match that pendant that we made. And we also made a really fun pair that I just love, and I'm debating that whether these are going to go in my sell stuff or going to stay with me because they turned out really cute. So we made those three on the members live yesterday. Now, if you're not a member of our members live and would like to join the members live, there is a link in the description here so that you can do that if you want to. Hey, Mary. And we do make, you do get a members live every Thursday, unless I'm sick. Today I haven't been feeling the best, so we don't go extra long. That's one of the reasons. Of course, on yesterday's regular live, oh, they didn't. I'm sorry to hear that. We made ear cuffs. Here's a little elephant. We're going to set these aside. There's a Valentine's one with a heart and a flower and a little drop. Now these cuffs, I made these little cuffs out of wire. So if you didn't see it yesterday and are interested in that, that's something you can look at. And this is one out of a pre-made cuff that I bought from Fire Mountain Beads. You love the elephant? Yeah, he's cutie, isn't he? So those are probably all going to go into my sell stuff because I don't wear ear cuffs myself. I like an earring. So, though some people wear ear cuffs and earrings both. So, and my chat has gone off again. I hate that when that happens. Let's see if I can get it to come up properly again. There we go. So I'm going to set these guys aside. Ta-da. I'll put those up here until I price them and package them and all that fun stuff. And then I'm going to put this pretty pair of earrings. Still trying to decide if I'm wanting these to keep these for myself. I've been doing that a lot lately though. So we'll set those over here on the table. But we're going to leave the other pair out because they're what we're going to be matching up for our pendant. So we're going to turn down in just a moment and we will. Hey, Sib. I'm wearing some pretty earrings. Yeah, these are one of my pair of earrings I made for St. Patrick's Day. So I made the little knot that I used yesterday. And it's got some Connemara marble, which just does come from Ireland. You'd keep them if it were you. So we're going to turn down. And I think what we're going to do is not going to start difficultly. Now, normally, Beth and Heather and I would be doing the on the wire off the hook today, but Beth had a doctor's appointment, so we just decided to bag it until next week, and hopefully things will work out. But we will see. So let's turn down, which is a pity because I had a pearl necklace designed. I think it would have been pretty. So anyway, we're going to turn down. Now you'll notice that there's a bracelet inside that shelf there. And if we have time, we may just make it. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Cynthia. Carolyn. Mary. Good to see all of you. So we're going to get out. These are our earrings we made yesterday on the Members Live. We painted them and then we made the earrings out of them. And then here is the pendant piece. So I'm going to do just the exact same thing here for the pendant. And then we're going to get some chain and do this guy up. So I'm going to get out our blue tiger's eye. It's trying to fall off of the strand because I cut it yesterday. We probably don't need more than that anyway. And our appetite. And our crystal spacers, or at least part of them. Come here, hook my shovel here. We'll get out of the way. Now I do have more crystal spacers if I decide to, on my own, if I decide to that I need more than is in here. Or if I need a smaller size, I do have those as well. So I just knocked something over and I'm not even sure what it was. And I heard something fall, so I know I did. So, of course, this piece here is just some of these goodies like this. And we'll just do that up and put it above here as our pendant. So we need to get out some 20 gauge wire. Hey, Tina. You find that some gemstones tarnish your crystal spacers. That's interesting. I think just about any metal will tarnish if you're not careful with it. You can get anti-tarnish little pieces that you can put in with your jewelry. What do they call them? Anti-tarnish tabs or something like that. And to help with that problem. I generally don't. If I think something's going to tarnish, I have some tiny little, oh, come on, you. Tiny little cleaning cloths, sort of like a sunshine cloth, but they're little. And I will give those out when I'm selling stuff sometimes. Okay, come on. There we go. Anybody have plans for the weekend? I don't really have any plans for the weekend, but unfortunately my husband has to have surgery on the same shoulder he had surgery on before on Monday. So I won't be on Monday, or if I am, it's probably going to be much later or from the hospital. Um, the shoulder he had surgery on before did not heal up right. In fact, one of the stitches pulled out. Actually, I think the MRI said there was 2 stitches that it was showing that was just hanging there. And his surgeon was not pleased. And the place where they had repaired was starting to tear again. So he has to have that repaired again. Hopefully this time it won't give him so many problems. But one of the things was he went back to work too early, apparently, when he had the original surgery done. And it tore. Well, so there's our pendant piece. Now I am probably going to put this on a bell. You could just make a loop at the top and just use the loop on your chain, which I could easily do if I chose to, but I usually use a bail to put mine on. Yeah, I hope it goes better this time around too, Mary. But I will not be on, like I say, I probably will not be on Monday. And if I am, it will be at a later time because he's got to have that surgery done. So I could, like I say, I could make this a big loop and use it for the bail itself, or I can just make a little loop and jump ring it onto a regular bail. Or I could even just get the regular bail and hardwire it on. Let's see. I may decide to do that. Just a sec, I'll be right back. I think we're going to use this little bail. And I think we'll just go directly on. Now this doesn't have a wide gap, but I don't want a heavy chain on this anyway. So that should still be fine. So I'm just going to up and over and around. Bring it down and around. Leave a gap so we can put our bail onto it directly. You're hoping to get a little beading done this weekend? Yeah, it's always nice to have a little time to do a little beading, isn't it? Come on, tuck in. There we go. That's a good baby. So here's our pendant all finished. And now we need to decide on the chain and then also what we're going to do as far as I want to break the chain in places. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is take, come here, guy. Go ahead and come off. 5 or 6 at least of these, and we're just going to, oops, do sort of like these, except for we're going to do one on either side so it has a definite breakdown, so to speak. So we're going to just like so. And I'm going to make, oh, at least 6 of these, maybe more. And we want some thin chain. Though in all actuality, if we wanted to, I do have some silver Coriana chain here. We could put the whole thing on Coriana chain. Let's see what that would look like. Hey, Lindsay. Hey, Brandy. Well, it would look better if it wasn't tied in a knot, right? The other day, I bought some Coriana chain from Amazon because they hadn't had any in Bargain Bead Box, so they did get some more in, and it's thinner than this one is. When it came, it was a little thinner, so I'm going to have to make sure if I order it from Amazon anymore, I get a slightly larger chain. I mean, it's the right chain. It's just the chain width is not as much. Come on, get that knot out of there. There we go. So here's our Coriana chain if we decide to use this. Like I said, I got some from Amazon, but it was a little thinner. I have it right here. I'll show you what I mean by it's thinner. It's not a lot thinner, but it is thinner. So here's the silver one. Where's the end? Just saw it dangling. There it is. But see, it's just it's a little bit thinner. Also looks to be a little bit brighter. So, but I think this is a really pretty delicate Coriana chain. Definitely something you could use with, make a real simple pearl necklace or something. But anyway, what I was thinking we'd do is we'll just, now, one of the ladies was saying she needled her Coriana chain the other day, you know, just like you do Ceylon or any of those. And I thought that was a really interesting idea, but because this is like working with a wet noodle frequently. It wiggles all over the place for you. But of course, that means you have to sacrifice some of your chain because let's face it, you're not going to want to leave your needles on your necklace when it's finished. But sort of need to decide how long we want the necklace to be because I've got a long piece here. You're wandering around Costco, Dominique. Oh yeah, that's pretty much of a challenge some days, isn't it? You get in there and you're going, oh. Your husband's doctor's making a house call? Never heard of that. Lately, that's not something they normally do anymore. You have the one from Amazon and you're wanting to use it this weekend? Mary? Is it okay to work with? Yeah, I would certainly think so. Yeah, either I order a lot of stuff, Lindsay, and and even though I pay attention, oh, that just came right off there. Um, Even though I pay attention to sizing and stuff, a lot of times when I get stuff, it'll still be larger or smaller than I'm expecting it to be. So, ah, you got a call from the baby, Heather? So I'm going to decide on a length for this. I'm thinking about, 20 inches maybe a little bit longer, but probably about 20 inches. So I am going to cut this because it keeps falling off, which is driving me a little nuts. So we're going to go about, I'm going to cut about 22. And the rest of it can go back in its bag and get out of my way. Is the smaller stuff good to use? I haven't used it yet, and I don't think it would be a problem. It's just a little thinner. So if you want something really, really delicate, that definitely is something to think about and definitely use. I'm actually thinking I will see if it will, because it is smaller, and I know glass pearls and shell pearls will fit on this chain, but I'm not sure about, regular freshwater pearls. So I'm thinking we might give that a little bit of a try, so to speak. So we had this baby on here, and I was going to raise this up from the bale a little bit, but I'm thinking I really liked how it was sitting right beside it there. And so we might just put the first two right beside the bale. We'll see. Oh, come on, go on there. Now, like I said, one of the ladies said you could needle the end of your Coriana chain. I've never tried it. Yep, this is Coriana chain. Crystals? Yeah, definitely. I have put crystals on the Coriana chain before. There you go. We'll put number one there. And then I'll go to the other side and do one up for the other side. We'll see what it looks like. If it looks good, then I'm going to get the teeny weeny crimps out and crimp it into place. Now, I have been told you can use the magical crimper on this. I have never tried it. Maybe I should do that so they would be little round balls instead of I'm afraid, though, if you use it, that it won't stay in place because, these are pretty, it's a delicate chain and you usually need at least 2 strands of Soflex, so who knows? I might give it a try, though, because it would look pretty with the little ball there instead of a crimp, a regular crimp. So, come here. You've done it and it works. So there is the first 2 bunches. And I sort of like that right there by the, I might just lift it up just a hair as far as the crimp is concerned. Well, let's get some crimps out. Folks are telling me that they work. So let's give it a try. Yes, we're talking about Coriana chain. So we're gonna, now I usually try to cut these a little longer than I really care if I make them or not, because inevitably I'll get them off center, and then I will end up trimming the top some. So let's get the one on the other side too. But yes, one of the ladies said she needled her Coriana chain the other day and it worked all right, like you would any other cord that you wanted to needle. So we'll put those there. Get my magical crimper out. Get hold of one of these guys. Now get it in the divot. Looks like it's staying put. That's cool. So now we're going to do the other side there. And if we wanted to, you could just end it and just have a couple, this little bit of decorative stuff down here at the bottom and just have chain the rest of the way. I will probably put on at least one or two more sets of the beads. But we'll see how we want to do. Yeah, that works fine. So we've got our little pretties on there. And so it sits like, turn over the right way. So it's going to sit like so. Nope, we're backward here. Got the, why do you keep turning backwards on me? There we go. So it'll look like so. Then we're going to go up and we'll put a few more crimps up a little further and then put some more beads on. But you said you got yours from Amazon and it was the thinner stuff, Mary? No, it's not that it won't hold the crystals. It's thinner, so it will hold crystals fine. It actually might hold them better because it's got a smaller diameter to go through the beads. See, there's a little orange crystal. Went on just dandy fine. What I meant was freshwater pearls. Because they have a smaller hole, I'm not sure if they'll go on the Coriana chain at all. I know glass pearls will. I've done it before. But I'm not sure about freshwaters because they have a smaller drill hole. But let's find out. So I have one right here beside me. This one goes on the thinner Amazon just fine. But I'm not sure if it will go on, the freshwater pearl will go on the heavier one. So let's check it out. Now this might be one of those instances where you do need to needle it because then it won't flop around when you're trying to push it through. It goes through fine. So either chain, the thinner or the larger, will work just fine. With the freshwater pearls, which have one of the smallest holes you're going to find. Um, the other thing that would have a small hole would be something that's tiny. Um, a gemstone that's tiny is what I'm referring to. And we did have those teeny weeny little apatites in here. So let's check and see how they work on the Coriana chain. See, teeny weeny apatite. Now this is from the original bundle. So this is the heavier chain. These teeny guys are just so hard to find a hole. See, the heavier Coriana chain will not go through this tiny, the little 3mm bead. But let's see if the thinner one that I got from Amazon will. Like I said, this is one of those instances for sure it would be better to needle the end because then you don't have that floppiness. Well, it looks like it's starting, but is it going to go any further than just the start? Whoop. Yes, there it is. So the thinner one will take little tiny gemstones. The heavier one won't. So that is one advantage of the thinner. If you want to put tiny gemstones on it, the thinner works just fine. So that is something to think about if you're going to use Coriana chain. Do you want to use the thinner style, which is what I got from Amazon? I think it's 0.5. Does it say? That's 10 millimeters of chain, but I'm not sure it says. I think it's 5.5, but I'm not positive. But it is thinner than the stuff that Bargain Bead Box is selling. I wonder if the gold says it's the small. It's got less chain on it. It doesn't say, but they were really reasonably priced, but they are thinner, so that's one thing. Anita, yours says 0.07. I think those are 0.05, so that's a little thinner. This might be the 0.07 that I have here in my hand. I did have, let's see if I have a regular bicone crystal here. I used to. I may have used it for something. I tend to have all kinds of little odds and ends stuff beside me that I didn't quite get put away when I put the rest of the stuff away. Oh, here's some little crystals right here. And we will try those on this regular to see if they'll fit fine on this little crystal. So, oh yeah, it goes on just fine. See? Actually, I was thinking of making some pearl and crystal necklaces here pretty soon. I like to give some really simple things as a thank you to nurses and things like that when things are going on. So, see, we could have just a little pearl and crystal. So, anyway, so that would, as you can see, and I'd probably put a little spacer in there and then another crystal on the other side and make a really simple necklace that way. I made some of these for some simple ones with just a pearl for my family. as a lot of you know, my mom had a stroke and she's now in a nursing home, and my sisters who live down there are taking care of her, are going in most days. So she's got somebody there. And so, as a thank you for taking such good care of Mom, since I can't, see, now I have a spacer on there, and that's pretty. I had made little necklaces like this for all my sisters that are down there, and with earrings to match. Um, so that's something that you can do. It's pretty simple, and it's really pretty, obviously. So we'll put those aside for right now. We're going to go back to our necklace we're making here, and I'm going to put another couple of sections of beading on this before we finish it off. So we'll, since I don't want them wiggling all the way down to the bottom now, I'm going to decide where I want the next set to sit and put a bottom crimp on. So maybe right about there looks good. So when we go to the other side, we'll have to be more careful, obviously, or it will be all wonked out, but that one didn't tighten up very well there. It's rolling around on me here. Want it about right here. That's still rolling. Okay. Nope, I thought it was stuck, but no, it is. Okay, now it's stayed. So we'll put another set of beads on this side. Hey, Kim. Yeah, my nails are still looking good. I haven't popped any of them off, though I came close the other day. I was pushing something. I was doing my usual working with my nails on a beading project the other day and shoved with them, and I felt it start to give, and I'm like, oh gosh, pull back. But I understand having to run an errand, Kim. We all got to do it sometimes. So don't worry about it. Okay, you are getting all twisted up here with my playing with other stuff. So now we've got the one that'll keep it from going down further. You now have a choice. You can just leave it and just go up further and let this roll around if it wants to, because once it's on, gravity's going to keep it down there. So you have a choice. You can crimp it on the other side as well, or you can leave it. I'm going to crimp it, and that's because then it looks like I have this little bead here, if anybody looks really closely. But let's face it, who's really going to look really that closely? But, you know, there are always some people. So we'll get that on there, and I'm going to not be real tight when I put it on. But so, and now I'll probably put one more section on this side, and then we'll go over and try and get this side evened out to this side. But we'll start on this side again. Now, if you want it even, you can get your measuring tape out and measure and see that, get it relatively close. I'll probably only do one more set of beads. I could do two because there's plenty of chain here, but I may only want to do one because the last one would probably be up in the middle of your neck anyway. So that'd be about right here, I think. So I've got this at about not quite 2 inches. It's 2 inches from crystal to crystal, more or less. So about right there is a good spot. But I don't really usually measure it too much. And you come back here to make sure that I'm really even. I just sort of eyeball it generally. So but if you are one of those folks that just can't tolerate having things be not just perfect, go ahead and measure. Oh, you got to go to the doctor, Cynthia? Okay. Oh, that's awful cold for South Florida. I use the magical crimper most of the time. I do have crimp beads that I use with Coriana chain, but you have to do a regular crimp on them rather than the magical crimp because the magical crimper will only take a 2x2 crimp. So if you're, using, that's something you got to think about. But I have used teeny weeny little crimp beads for this, ones that I actually got from Bargain Bead Box, which are more or less for these. But I was hoping to get the little soft flex would work with the little bead like pattern on there, so that's why I used them on this one. So we have the oh, come on, behave. So we'll put a last crimp on here, and then we'll need to do the other side. Whoops, dropped it. Now that one slipped up a little bit. We'll see if I can get it to slide down, but I don't think so. I think it's pretty well set already. Yeah, it is. So it's just going to be a little high. No big deal. Because this is just the one to keep it from running up and down the row. Because it's going to stay down there pretty much anyway. Now, when we do the ends here, Yeah, I definitely am not going to put another set of beads in. We are going to, where are they? I didn't pull them out. I should have. That's the rose gold. See, these are the little crimp beads. They're tiny little guys. And here's my clamshells, nibs, whatever you want to call these things. Everybody has a different name for them, it seems. I generally just call them clamshells. Come on. I need 2 of you guys. 2. That's not 2. And then I, come here, do generally use these when I'm putting them in the clamshell. And I don't need 4, I only need 2, but these are little crimp beads. But this is for the clamshell, so I'm not, put the clamshell on first. I just about grabbed the crimp bead to put it on before putting the clamshell on. You have to slide the clamshell on first because it actually goes on the wire itself. Slide it down. Then you get your little crimp bead, and you can use regular crimping pliers. You can just flat crimp these. You can do them however you want. Come here, baby. I just want one of you guys in the pliers. Then just slide that in just to the very tippy top. And swoosh it. Now that's a flat crimp. I don't normally do flat crimps. I think they're sort of ugly and they don't always hold as good as a regular one, but that's holding pretty darn good. So then you just pull your clamshell up, and you can put a touch of glue on that if you want. I don't generally figure it needs it. Just squish this closed. I like these 2 with the 2 rings because when you put your jump ring through to hold these, then it can't come undone because the jump ring's holding it closed. Yeah. So that side is done. Now we're just going to get some crimps in and do the other side. Now I never did measure this to make sure that I had it about the same length still. I should have. Oh, and it looks pretty good, so no problem. But so now we want to now if I were to measure, this would be the place to make sure that I've got this close to the same spot on the other side. What I generally do is just what I'm doing right here, and that's just putting them side by side. And that looks good right there. So I'm going to get my crimping pliers out, slide it underneath here, and so it slides right into the spot, and then squish. Looks pretty good. So we're going to get in here and do the continuing swishes to make sure it stays good. No rolling sideways. And you just move. So it's obviously not real tight yet. That's pretty good. This blue is really pretty that they've this tiger's eye. I think it's actually dyed to give it this color, but it is pretty just the same. Yeah, that's sometimes a good idea, Mary, to try it on a little piece before you go on. Randy calls them nibs, yeah, and I call them clamshells. Scooch it is a very technical term. Yeah, you scooch it. I very, very rarely do flat crimps. I think they're sort of ugly. They're not pretty. I don't trust them as much as a regular crimp, so I rarely do them, but this one's a wiggler. It's not holding still. And I'm not sure I'm going to get it to hold still because it's pretty round. But since it's the top one, I'm not as worried about it because if it wiggles, at least it's not going to let it go down. It's just going to let it go up, which with gravity, when it's being worn, it's not that much of an issue. So now we need this last set here. Ooh, got my fingernail caught on my chain here. See how that one just wiggled? This one wiggled up. It's not holding in place at all. But that's all right. Like I said, it's the upper one. If it was the lower one, I'd worry. But it's not. It's the upper one. So it's not going to go traveling too much. And if it does, it's going to go let the beads go uphill instead of down. So you're wiggling some too. We don't want that. Come on, up a little more. You are the one that has to stay put. Okay. Uh-oh, I think it's too high now because yes, it is. Dang it. And now it's sticking. Of course it is because it's too high. So hopefully I won't cut my chain along with my crimp. It's not quite cut all the way through. It's a little bit of a notch down below here. But will it move? Nope. One is stubborn and wants to oop. Don't get the chain cut. I cut the chain. Dang it. Well, we're going to have a shorter necklace, it looks like. And let's see how long it's going to be. It might be too short. Yeah, that would be too short. Blast it. Well, this one decided to give me problems all the way around with this one right here. So, since I accidentally cut the chain, we're gonna have to do a little differences here. It's 12. Be 17, but I would need to get this middle one moved just in order to turn it into a 17-inch one. So I think this is going to need to be restarted. What a pain in the rear. Oh well, that's the way it goes some days. So if you get a crimp in the wrong place, you may just not be able to do that. Nice bracelet, yeah. Except for I wouldn't want it to have my this on it, but I could. This would make a really pretty little bracelet, this section right here. So we could just cut it off right here and just turn this section into a bracelet. Or we could cut it, we could cut it right here. Take this section off, put this in, well, let's just cut it right here and we'll decide that. Because this is where we need to take it off if we're going to take it off. And I want to leave this on. So we leave this bit on. You guys stay here. It would make a really pretty little delicate bracelet. Though I'd probably want the beads closer for a bracelet, but we'll see. It's not like I can use it for a lot of things, right? So I'm just going to crimp these beads on this side and we'll decide what we're going to do with it. Hold there. Nope. Okay. I have an idea. I think what I'm going to do is, how long are you? I don't think this one's long enough to make a bracelet. Well, I could just put an extender on it and make it into a little bracelet. But I'm thinking I might use this for some earrings. I'll have to see how that works. But we'll. Oh yes, this is one of these is one of the ones that didn't stay put, obviously, because it's wiggling around. It's this one. How long are you? One and 3/4. And if I go 1 3/4 to the other side, would be this one is the wiggler. But could I put a jump ring and join a different piece of chain? We might be able to, let's see if we can do this, what I'm thinking of here. Can we put 2 pieces of chain through one of the crimps? Oops, come here. If 2 pieces of chain will go through the crimp, what we can do is just crimp it together and then put it underneath the bail. I'm not sure 2 pieces will go together though. Well, maybe it will. It will. It will take 2 pieces because I just pushed that through. This piece is too short, so I'm not going to worry about this piece. This piece I'm going to make into an earring, and I might make a couple of earrings with it. Because here's the other piece of chain, so I got plenty, I think, to make some earrings, some little loop earrings with those. But we can get some new chain out. Good thinking, Mary. An anklet. That's a thought, Kim. That's true, Heather. It does. We have some interesting things. We have the same maiden name. We have the husband with the same is a Steve. We both are allergic to adhesives. It's pretty funny. Okay, go on here the rest of the way, baby. Oh, come on. I know you will. I just did it with the other one. Oh, I think I knocked my crimp bead off. Or crimp tube, I should say. Come on, go on there. Now, I did you a minute ago, so I know it will work. Just have to get it to go in. It's actually sort of a pity I don't have any bigger crimps, like some 3x3s, but I don't. 3x3 would go on quite easily. Oops, or did you go in? Did you go in? Looks like that's a yes, it went in. So now we're going to crimp these two together. This is going to make my first bead strand be a little higher because this has got to go underneath the bail and I've got it not right beside it anymore. Now, it's holding pretty good. So give it a couple more scrunches, make sure it's there. Then we're going to trim off the excess so we don't have a whole crud load of metal sitting here. Come on, let me get hold of it. Okay, now I'm going to give it a tug or two, just make sure it doesn't come loose, and it's not. That's cool. So now we can just slide our bail on. The bail is going to sit right here, so now the beads are going to be up higher, but that's all right. Yeah, that was unfortunately. Yeah, I've done it before. It's not something I'm thrilled when I do, obviously, but I have done it before. Okay, we're going to get our chain about the same length. Cut it off about right here. I think I'll give me a little extra just in case I need to cut some more later. And then what I'm going to do with this, let's make sure that this piece is, well, one thing I'm going to do is get rid of that crimp. Oh, that's the crimp that was sliding all over the place. Well, I'll put a new one on it. But we want to have the same length of chain here, from here to here. And it looks like it's almost the same, just a little bit off. So let's cut the extra. And actually, I should have just paid attention because I might need to cut some more off this other side because I think this other side's going to be too long. But that's all right. We'll worry about that when we get to it. We're going to take this. We're going to come up. And we're going to see if we can get both strands into one of these guys. And if you can't, you can always do a little bit of reaming out of that to get both strands in. And then we're going to make this into an earring, like so. So it's called improvise. Now that's the crimp for the, I could actually just use that as the crimp. Since it's holding really good, I could just use that as the crimp for the other set of beads here. And maybe I'll do that. I'll probably end up having to trim some chain off, but that's all right. That way it's not got as big a gap in between the two. So that's going to just going to work as a regular. But see how this has a big hole in the crystal spacer? That's big enough that you can get 2 or 3 wires through that one. But there we go. Now we'll crimp this baby into place. And thank you for the thought, Mary, of crimping 2 pieces together. I wouldn't have thought of that on my own, I don't think. So, well, I might have sooner or later, but not right now. So, appreciate that. So, because that worked quite nicely. And let's be careful where we get these, get them at least relatively close instead of like that other one that went off into Never Never Land on its own. Not quite close enough. I don't think it'll wiggle any, so that's going to be just right there. So I have tendencies to think of things afterwards, but not right at the moment when I need to think about them. Let's see, Anita. Okay, where's the end of the appetite string? Right here. It is really nice when you have an error like that and the group comes up with all kinds of things that you could do to fix it. And I seriously appreciate that. And I think this was an excellent. I didn't know that I could get to 2 pieces of the chain through one crimp, and so it was pretty cool to see that we could. And see, that is a little bit not quite right, but it's close enough. I'm not going to worry about it. So now we're going to get this last one in place. And this is the one that screwed up on us before, so we got to be careful. Don't want to cut our chain again. I did notice that Bargain Bead Box has the chain back in stock. So if you want the kind that they have, then, you know, it's there now. So I'm going to hopefully I got that relatively close. Pretty close. So no worries. Okay. Now, lastly, we have to figure out our length here because I know I'm going to have to cut some off. Oh, who said you could leave? Come back here. Okay. So, it's about, no, it's not that much we have to cut off. Just about maybe 3/4 of an inch. Could take just a teensy weensy touch more off just to be on the safe side, but it's not really necessary. But I just did. So now we want that little, nope, we want our collet in. Where's it at? There it is. I've done that so many times. How many have you guys done that before? Put your crimp bead on and then realized you forgot to put your little nib, collet, clamshell, whatever you want to call it on. I have done it a couple of times and it's like, oh, for cripe's sake. Yeah, come on, go through there. Squish it good and tight. Bring it over, squish these two down together. And we just need to put our endings on, and this baby is done now. Isn't she pretty? And thank you, ladies, for the excellent thought of putting the two strands together. You've done it too? Yeah. Oh, yeah, the elfin golem. Yeah. So I'm just going to put some jump rings on here and a lobster claw to finish this off. In the meantime, I'm going to show you what I mean to do with the earring here. So we're going to have we're going to have two sets of earrings that will match because this set, of course, matches with the pendant piece down here. But what I want to do here with this one, and I'm going to need one more of these, is we're going to take our chain as we've got it right here. And I need to put another whatchamacallit on because the one came off. And we're going to have to have a specific, it's going to have a specific piece of chain. So we're going to have to cut some off. And I should have thought of that when I cut this down some, because we're going to need a bigger piece anyway. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pull these together up here. And then we're going to, first we're going to see if we can get both lines in one of the, now where to shove them? I know they're right here. Don't you love when you flip something to the side, you know it's right here beside you, and you cannot find it? Here it is. I mean, it's not like it could have gone very, very far. Bead tip or not cover. Yeah. So, this is a little bit tricky, but I have done it. And what you need to do sometimes is ream out the little hole a little bit, so you can get both lines through here. This would probably work better with the thinner, but so you'll go with one, then we'll go with the other. And I don't think it's going to go. I think we're going to have to ream it out a little bit, but we'll see here. Yeah, it's going to need just a teeny bit of reaming out. You get out of the way. I don't want to accidentally damage you. We've already damaged you enough. So I take my bead reamer and I'm going to just ream out the hole that they go through just a bit, so I can get both of the strands through. Though frankly, I do need to put that other bead on. Whatchamacallit, the crimp, before I actually do this, but looks like I need a little more, but I'm going to crimp this while I'm thinking of it. And of course, it will. And if this one's loose, I don't care, because we want it to have a little bit of movement in it. So. Hey, Heather, have you heard anything from Becky and Jenny to see if Jenny got home safe and sound since she was traveling after that ice storm Texas had? I should contact them and find out. We'll find out tonight, won't we? Because late night with Becky and Jenny's on tonight. Okay, so we've got this hooked up here. And now we got to get both through here. It's when you look on the floor. So we put our one piece in, grab hold of it. Actually, I should have used the bigger one. It would have been easier to hold on to as we try to push the second one through the little hole here. Almost. It started but didn't want to keep going. Okay, we want it just a touch bigger. Bead reamer, not just for beads. That's the other piece. Okay, hold it right here. And there we go. Oops, it fell back out. Darn thing. Okay. Now that we've got both in here, we want to pull this down and then pull our strand up so that we've got it evened here so that we can cut off the excess. Oop. Don't want to have it fall back out, but I do want the excess. I do need to cut the excess off. So we're going to want to get it pretty evened out here. Looks like that's about it. So I'm going to push them back up in here. Go in there. So I can see the ends here. And I'll play with them a little bit while we got it up here to make sure I've got this the way I want it. Looks like it still needs to come up on this one side some. Come on. Oops, that's too much. Bring it back down some. And this fell out. Maybe what I should do is do it prior to going in. Might be more helpful. Come on. How many of you ladies watch Late Night with Becky and Jenny? I have really enjoyed watching them since Jenny started coming on with Becky. I think the sisters' communication and such makes it pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to cut this extra off. Got an extra inch here. And then I'm going to... Actually, before I do go any further, I'm going to take my extra piece of chain. Where'd it go? Extra piece of chain. Where'd I put it? Here it is. I cut this one so it matches the length of that one. Yeah, it would be in the middle of the night for you. Well, it's pretty much the middle of the night for us too when it comes right down to it, because they do come on at 9:30 at night for us and then go on until they feel like stopping, which is whenever. So yeah, I enjoy watching them. I think they have a good relationship between the two of them, so it makes it really nice to watch them. Maybe we'll do up this other bead strand before we put it in, and I need one more long box. There we go. I have 2 left, so we have 1 more. Be just enough to get this done. So we're gonna now there's the crimps, and there's the other one of this guy who I do have to open up some more still, but I'll worry about it later because I want to show you how to do this. We'll get this one other side going. I'm just going to get this side done so that I have the beads in about the right spot. And then I will show you how to how I'm going to put this together. I think that's wiggling. Yeah, it is. That's all right. We'll get it back about where I want it. Now you're not going to want these super tight when you do them, so that was no problem having that other one not being tight, because you're gonna. It does need to have that sort of fold in the middle, so you don't want them super tight. Otherwise, they won't fold over right. Come on, you go on here. I had never actually used Coriana chain till this last year, and I'm really enjoying using it. I think it makes a really pretty, delicate item, and oh, good. Could I put a pin mark on it? Sure, you can. You could use a Sharpie even if you wanted to. What did I do with that piece that I was working with? It could be buried in anything. There it is. The one I've already got reamed out. So put this aside. So we're going to get these two pieces into our piece again that we reamed out. Anyway, I was asking about Jenny because she was down visiting Becky, and she went down prior to the ice storm. They knew it was coming, so she went the day before it was supposed to show up, and then she was scheduled to go home once it started clearing. So that's why I was a little concerned with how did she get home safe and sound, considering that she was traveling through relatively bad weather. Okay, so now we've got the two up here. I'm going to drop our collet, nib, clamshell, whatever you want to call it, down pretty far down in our wires. Oops, that one fell out. Darn it. Now we're working with tiny bits, so it's sort of fiddly, and it's gonna argue with you, just as it is with me here. And have you ever noticed that the first one always seems to argue a lot, and then you do the second one and it hardly argues at all? But anyway, go in there. You were in there a minute ago, so I know you will. We must have a bit of fog outside again, or a lot of cloud cover. The planes are a little low. They come over my house as they go to the airport. So come on, in you go. There we go. Okay, I want this up, these up as far up as I can get them here. I think my kids just got home. I think I hear a car, but that's all right. So then what I want to do once I get these together, come on, go close to each other here, is we want to get one of these crimp tubes on both of them again, like we did when we put it together. Come on, down you go. On both, down you go. Well, one is definitely coming out, but I don't see the other one yet. So I want it to stay relatively even. So we want that to come out if we can. Okay, I think I see it. And I think we might be even enough. Because even though it's a little bit off, it's not off a lot. See, we got them right there. So now I'm going to take my crimp and we're going to scooch this baby. Bring this guy up. Come on. All the way. Not quite coming all the way up. We need to work it a little bit, I guess. Because I do want it to come, we want it to come in to our clamshell. Come on. I can see a little bit of more chain down below, so that's why I want to work it a little bit more to get it out. And then I've got to get the clamshell turned so that when I put the jump ring on to put it on the ear wire, it's facing the way I want it to go. It's actually, I want it this way. So come the rest of the way, baby. Okay, I think I may have to cut. There's a little bit of wire on the other end of our piece there. I'm going to cut that off so that we have that. It's not going to be in the loop. Then we'll close our loop up. And it's outside of it. Darn it, come on you. That's not where you belong. Over sideways. Go in there where you belong. Now close up. Still poking out a little bit there. I have to fix that. But so there's what it'll look like when I get it all the way finished. Oh. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do with the little bits that we couldn't figure out another way. And we're going to make a little pair. So that's how the little earring is going to look. We'll hook up some ear wires up to it, and then it will have this little earring here. Looks like this one went in just a little bit more, but I think it's still going to be, it's not bad. I'm all right with it. But the clamshell is not, it is poking out there, so I am going to have to open it back up and and see if I can get that in there better, because we don't want it poking out. But other than that, this little guy is done. Get you to go in. It doesn't want to poke out, is the problem. Because of the chain is not quite down as far as I would like it to be. Oh, I might have got it to go down now. Well, let's see. Yep, there we go. So there's our first of our little chain earrings. So I'm going to have to remount this other one, this other little clamshell, and put this guy together. Get jump ring and some ear wires and put that together, and this baby is done. And we got our, I'll need to do the findings on, let's get these beads out of the way so that we can see things back here. Oops, tools are in the way here too. Maybe all mixed together here. This is the little appetites. This is the rest of the tiger eye. Appetites. Come here, you guys. You go in this slot. Okay. So now we can see things a little better here now that I've got all the beads out of the way. So here's our necklace. And again, thank you, Mary, for the thought of crimping the two pieces of chain together. That worked really well. So after I messed that up, I do need to put my findings on here. Here's our first earrings that we made yesterday on the members live. Then that's where we got the idea of how we wanted to do this one. Pull your chain down out of the way so we can see this. And then here is what our second earring is going to look like once we get get it finished. So both sets will match just fine. So I do have surgical steel ear wires. That's what I lever back ear wires. That's what I always use. Well, not on gold and copper if I have, and bronze if I have the ear wires, but on anything silver anymore. I used to use silver plated, but I've discovered that these work better as far as people with allergies are concerned. So let's see if I got my clamshell going the right way, or if we're going to have to mess with it some. And I could just put in 2 jump rings if it's not the right direction, because that might be easier than trying to get the clamshell to behave at this point. So you want to go through both loops and then put our ear wire on. It's acting like it doesn't want to slip down and around like it normally does. Very weird. Boy, you just want to be argumentative, don't you? Ta-da. Okay. And it looks like she's hanging just dandy. So there's this first of these two this style. So I will finish this one in off camera in a little bit because I do have to ream this out, so it's going to take up a little bit of time. I got more crimps out here than I need. I was going to show you how to make a quick little necklace with a pearl and some crystals, but we're almost out of time. We've been on for an hour and 46 minutes. It's like a quarter till 12, so we're gonna probably go right now before we keep on. And oh, that's a little square crystal. I thought that was another one of the round ones, but it's a square one. Oh, there's the other bicone. So do I have another? I want another little daisy spacer here. Because I want to throw up together with the really thin chain a quick little really simple little. There's another one. I knew I had a couple of them here under my fingernail. So I was going to just make a quick little pearl necklace here. Now this is a natural pearl, a freshwater pearl, as opposed to a glass pearl or a, you know, one like that. Oh yeah, that's right. I had left this little apatite on here, hadn't I? Let's pull it off. So what I'm thinking, well, we'll just cut 18 inches of this because that's about what I want. Don't get this in the way. I don't want to cut that accidentally again. It's 12. Right here. Now, Mary was saying something about putting crystals on this. It works. These are little bicones that I have here, and they'll fit just fine. Hey, Georgina. You're taking off. Okay, we'll see you later. I'm going to take off here pretty soon. I just wanted to make this quick little down and dirty crystal and pearl necklace so that because Mary had asked if we could put crystals and pearls on this chain, and we're gonna make a really quick little, we're just gonna put a little crystal bicone on and a daisy spacer. These daisy spacers aren't quite the same size, but they're close enough, I think, unless I have another one up here, which I don't see. Come on. Because natural pearls are one of the, some of the tiniest holes, that and 3mm beads. So that's why I was throwing this one together. I don't like the two daisy spacers. They're two different sizes, so we're gonna not leave those on here. I'm not gonna finish this off because I need to find a different size daisy spacers. But see, there's Mary. See how simple that is? And it's just, which makes for a really simple but delicate, beautiful little necklace. So real simple to make. So really pretty. The little bicone crystals fit on fine, no problem. Freshwater pearl even went on fine with no problem. And I would say that that it would make a really pretty little necklace. So real simple. But I wouldn't think you'd have any problem because the little 3mm apatite went on. So you could do that easily. So let's turn up for a few. I am going to finish these off camera. Everybody, I think, knows how to put on jump rings and lobster claws. We already did this one, so you could see how it was done. I'm going to do this one in the exact same way, but I do have to remount the little clamshell before we can put the chains through. So real simple thing to do. I am probably going to keep this done up and I'll finish it, but I am going to find a different daisy spacers. See, there are two different sizes of daisy spacers. One's bigger than the other one. And since this is all the beading on here, I don't want them to be two different sizes. It'll be too obvious. So anyway, there's all of our goodies we made today. So I am going to flip us up here around, and again, this is the ones we made yesterday that we used as a sample of what we wanted to do with our pendant, which is right here. And like I say, thank you again, Mary, for the thought of marrying up two of the chains to make to fix the cut bead I made, because it worked quite nicely. That one's a little high, but that's not a big deal. So there we go for our pendant and necklace. And of course, then we have the little earrings we're making out of the pieces that got cut off because they got screwed up. And so pretty simple, but it's a fun little set. So I hope you guys all enjoyed making all these fun things with me. And like I say, I am going to finish this little guy up, but I am going to change one of these daisy spacers whenever I find one, whichever one works best with whatever I find to go with it, to match. And then for this one, since I'm not going to set it in place, I don't care if it rolls around. I'm just going to put the tips on the end and it's going to be done. It's really simple, but really elegant when it comes right down to it. So I am going to go. Heather's supposed to be on in 10 minutes. So everybody have a lovely weekend, and I'm going to watch Heather and probably get me a bite to eat. And I'll do a recorded video for tomorrow later on today. I may make this bracelet. This bracelet, though, requires a jig that you can get from Bead or any way that you used to be able to. It opens and closes like this. If I don't make it tomorrow for a recorded video, I may make that on Monday. We'll see what we decide to do. Anyway, I hope everybody has a lovely weekend. I'll see everybody over on Heather's channel. Bye-bye, everybody. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden.